This is the instructions, and it's a very easy rug to do. This is the 3 T's. Uh, the reason for the name is because this rug would not have been done and designed without the troubling Trump's tariffs. This is why this rug was created, because I can't sell the bundles. So I'm going to go over, try to go over very quickly and to show you a bit about how to set out your rug and how to finish your rug. This is a very strong hit and miss, which means the colors are very much, what would I say? There's not a lot of contrast. I mean, you have some lights and you have some the odd colors there, but they all work together and they all are going to have they're going to produce a really nice rug. I didn't take a measurement of the finished rug, and this one, when I laid it out, I had this as a kit. There's only 7 kits. So we're going to go through and just give you a quick rundown on an easy way to do this one. So when you first get your kit, you will have your base. And this base, I didn't measure the rug, but this base is 24 by 16 and a half, I think. So it's quite a large rug. You will have the lines in the rug where it has been ironed. These are your horizontal and vertical lines that you need to put your pennies on, either center or one on each side. One on each side. And you can see that one's out a bit. That should be down so that this line is here. And really, you're not going to run any trouble when you lay out this rug, because what you're going to do is the outside edges, and then you're just going to fill it in. The reason we're putting these in now is because we need to find those outside edges and get them as straight across and even as possible. So do mind those lines, those 2 lines with your pennies. The center goes here, one on each side of these lines, one on each side of these lines. So you would put your layout on your fabric. And as I say, it doesn't matter for the placement. Nothing much matters in here as long as these are good to go with center. So on this line, it's off center, and then it ends with the center. Okay, and I suggest using masking tape. You don't have to, and you notice center, 2 sides, center, 2 sides, center. The same with this one. It's a bit different because they all go one on top of the other for that center. These go center and 2 sides. This one is strictly straight up, as straight as you can get in the center of this line. Now, I'm showing you how to do a no-sew edge, which means that you cut your material and you fold it under the last row of pennies. So you're going to put masking tape, and this is where you straighten your pennies up. Make sure they are all on a nice straight line, even and touching. Doesn't matter what's going on in here. That will fit no matter what. It's the outside edge that you need to be concerned about and have them as straight as possible. And right now you can move them around to do that. Cut here and cut a bit larger than the tape, and I've shown you. And the reason for this is you're going to be folding it under, so you've got lots of room. The other reason is this fabric will fray if you have your tape right on the edge. When you remove your tape, you're going to fray your fabric. Oh, excuse me, I have to take a drink. It's too early for subjack. It's apple cider vinegar in water. Okay, now you're going to have two places where the tape goes to make the edge. And you should really, these are the only little tiny, tiny difficult part, because you're folding those in. You're folding this in, you're folding this in, and you want a point, your point to be right in here, not out here. So this all has to be folded in, and then you fold this and fold this. So the easiest thing, and I say the easiest thing, is because I didn't do it and I got in trouble when I set the rug out. Put a mark on your tape where your penny touches the tape, and then put a mark here. And you transfer that mark goes on your base. So that's you know where that penny is sitting, so you can get it, your fold just in here a bit. You see, that's where your penny's going to be, so you need that fold. You need to fold it back and have that fold right here, right between these two lines, straight line up and down. And I do suggest that you do that on all four because I got messed up. Now, once you have your tape on, your base cut, and your corners here where your last penny is and where your fold will be, you just remove that last row of pennies and put it back on your mat in the sequence that you had them. And as you before you remove the tape, finger press it. With the tape on, just fold it over. The tape is underneath here. Just fold it over and finger press it. And then once you take the tape off, you have your line. Now the long parts, the long one, is where you're apt to run into most problems. But if you mark it and you just fold right there from one mark to the other, you'll be fine. With this side, you probably, not probably, you will need to remove some of the excess fabric here. And with this edge, it's pretty simple. You just fold your two edges under, and this one seems to work so much better. It's this long one. It's the long side that is a little tricky. There, and now I have finger pressed everything, and I'm taking the tape off. Be careful at the folds when you take your tape off, And then what you would do is you would iron your iron your base back after your tape has been removed, and make sure you fix your edges where you're going to have that outside penny. Remove any excess material and make it nice and neat. And there I have it all done except that row. So I've done these. This is the difficult one. This one's very easy. It just folds back, no problem. So that's what these would look like. See if I can bring that up. See? You've got flat here, and your penny needs to cover that. You don't want anything sticking out from, see if I can move that again. See, this is the way you want it to look, and this is the way you want it to look, just so that penny is there. All the pennies are nicely touching the edge. And there's the scissors. I have these backwards there. You will need to remove some of that excess. And the bases are, now, see, that one's no good. You need to refold that so that it comes out here a bit more, and your penny is centered. See, this penny is off, and this penny is over too far. It's out. So you just need to rearrange those. Be careful of the edges. So you have your bottom layer all done. Now, I would suggest that you baste this bottom layer, or pin it, and do this layer first. You can even take these out if you want. This is the main part of this rug that is important. The base of pennies fitting on these edges, and just that they are touching. Nothing is out. Once you have that stitched, then you can just put these in row by row, then just do your inside row next, and then this one. See, it's hard to keep them in rows. And then you finally get the center. This puts a very nice, if you use a decorative stitch, which I'm going to show you, will put a very nice look for your stitching on the back of your rug. And I just want to mention now that when I go through with and showing you the stitches, just remember always to put your knots, hide your knots under your wool. Do not put your knots up from the back of your fabric and your base. So if I were doing this rug, I would stitch all of these in place, being particularly careful for those rows outside and here. And I would do that row, I would stitch that row first to make sure that's perfect, and then everything else is going to be fine. Now, this is the time when you do the 10-foot roll. Now, this particularly stands out to me. If I'm looking at that 10 feet away, that one looks odd. And also, there are a lot of darks in one place. So this is the time, once you have your last row done, this is the time where you sort of put light ones where there's all dark, or maybe not put this one in at all. So that's when you check and see if anything, you look at your rug from 10 feet away, you just put it on the table or something like that, or a board like this, and then just go about 10 feet away or the other side of the room and have a look at it. And if anything hits your eye that sticks out, now this one does me. I can close my eyes and then I can open them, and the first thing I see is that. That's not too bad, but this one really bothers me. So you uh, do your um, different shades wherever you want them, and then uh, you have this row stitched, and then it's to put your small pennies on. And the small pennies are about 4 different colors, maybe a bit more in there. You see that? That just bothers me. That I would have to take that out, and I would take that one out too. So then you put those on, and try for contrast. Now, that's a good contrast. Uh, Most of them really are a good contrast. See, that maybe, they're pretty good. You don't want your top penny and your bottom penny close in color. You want contrast. Whoops, going too fast. And this is my, oh my. No, 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 where are you? This is the finished rug. Doesn't that look nice? Just imagine the decorative stitches on that. Now, I would like to say, while I'm here and I think about it, even though this is a no-sew edge, because you're folding it back and you're stitching your pennies, so there's no way it's going to come out, you can also do a decorative stitch on that, a blanket stitch, a V-stitch if you're using that, or whatever. You certainly can do that if you want a little finish for that edge. Now, I'm going to show you some of the stitches that I would suggest. Now, this is a 2-stack, which means there's 2 pennies. But I am going to be having this one. This is the Flowers of Spring. And this one has the stitch where there's a knot in the center. See, a little knot in the center to pull it in, a French knot or colonial knot. And then the spokes of a wheel for the blanket stitch. You could definitely do that, but your first layer of stitches, you can still do the center. That's fine, but this is going to be more decorative with that wagon wheel stitch there, and then see if I can up this a bit. Get in trouble. So you can do the wagon wheel stitch here, put it in the center, that's fine. Then you would put this one on and do the same thing, and I wouldn't suggest any more than 2 strands of floss or that thickness, but with this type of stitching, you could even do 1 strand of floss. And it would be a very soft, lacy look to your stitches. With the 2-strand, you're going to have a thicker look. But I would really experiment with one strand floss and to see how that works. I think that might be wonderful. The wool is all good. You just put your stitches maybe closer together. You can if you use 1 strand, but it's a very simple and easy stitch. Now, I have a video that I'm going to include. I'm not sure if I can get it on the listing. I think it's only room for 1 video there, but I will put this in the groups. These are the 3 stitches that I've used for a 1 penny. This one in particular is really nice for the wool that I'm using now because it's quite a thick wool. It's not a thin rug hooking type wool. It's thicker blankets. And what the threads do with this is they puff it and make it look like a tiny little pincushion type thing. So they pull the wool down and make a higher, uh, thicker type penny, which is perfect for that stitch. This is why I suggested it for this rug. So these are the three one penny that there are many more that you can do, but these are very easy and simple to do even for a beginner. And I will put that link in my groups when I post this. The other thing is there are 7 of them in the bags ready to put in mailers, and I even have my stickers on there, so I'm not going to second guess myself anymore. But I've also included, let's see if I can get it up higher. There, I've also included 2 bags stuffed with extra pennies, especially the small ones, and for the large ones, I put as much as I could get in there. So when you are, let me get up here. Where are we? It took a while to do all of these. I didn't realize there was so many pictures. When you take these off, you have these 4 good triangles here that's left. Uh, Take your extra pennies and make a little candle mat there, or make a mug cup, or something. Or if you don't like, your bag has exactly the amount of pennies to do this, but if you want to get rid of that one, go in your extra bag and change it out. But I thought it would be nice to give you extras so that you can do something with these 4 little squares. And that is it. Um, Only 7. Just imagine uh, one strand of floss with that stitch all over. I made one at one time. It was called plaid and lace, and that's what I did. I did a very thin thread, but an all-over stitch, and it just muted the plaid so that you couldn't hardly tell it was plaid. That would be beautiful. I would also put whatever you're doing here, I would put along there. I don't like those lights peeking out. Um, but then again, depends on the color of thread you use and everything. Okay, so these will be listed, and as I said, there are only 7. And I'm going to do my housework rule. An hour of shipping. Get it ready every day. And these are all ready to go in the packages, the mailers, and I have adjusted and know that everything is fine for the weight. Where's that? There we go. These will fit in a mailer and not give me any problems with shipping or weights or calculations. And the other thing is, they're all the same as to pretty much weight and HTS codes. So I don't have to uh, do a lot, let's say, do a lot of tech work on the shipping because I'm doing 7 of exactly the same thing. So I hope you enjoy. This is what's going to happen. We're only going to do so many, but darn, those colors are so nice. And some of that wool is just, oh, I hate to cut pennies with it. It's so nice. So for now, that's the plan. We get rid of as much as possible with different types of penny rugs. And then maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll do half bundles of wool. Tell me what you think. I am going to do the crochet later on. I'm doing those in bundles. So I hope you enjoy and happy stitching.